Welcome to Tokyo, one of the most exciting and diverse cities in the world. Tokyo offers a fascinating mix of modern technology, rich culture, and ancient traditions. But just like any destination, there are a few things you definitely want to avoid to ensure that you blend in with the locals and respect the culture. Whether you're here for business, a vacation, or exploring the vibrant streets, these tips will help you navigate the city without making any cultural faux pas. So, let's dive into the top 10 things you must not do in Tokyo. Trust me, you'll be glad you listened to this. Please like and subscribe to the channel before we get started. Don't tip anyone. Now, this might sound strange if you're coming from a place where tipping is the norm, but in Tokyo, and Japan in general, tipping is completely unnecessary and can even be seen as rude. Service workers in Japan take pride in their job and are already paid well. It's considered disrespectful to offer extra money as a form of gratitude. Instead, the best way to show appreciation is through a simple arigatou gozaimasu, which means thank you very much. And if you do leave a tip, it may be returned to you, as the gesture can cause embarrassment. Imagine walking into a restaurant and trying to leave a tip. The waiter might feel confused or even uncomfortable as they aren't used to the practice. Keep your change, say thank you, and enjoy the service. That's all you need. Pro tip. While tipping isn't necessary in restaurants, you might encounter situations where a small gift from your country could be a nice gesture of appreciation for exceptional service. Don't point at people. Pointing at people or objects is a big cultural no-no in Japan. It's considered rude and intrusive. If you need to indicate something, try using your whole hand and gesture in the direction rather than pointing directly with your finger. If you're trying to ask for directions, instead of pointing at the person or an object, simply nod in the direction you want to go and gesture politely. It's a more respectful and subtle way of communicating. Japanese culture values personal space and subtlety, so being aware of how you point or gesture is key to avoiding misunderstandings. Don't talk loudly in public places. If you've ever been on the subway or in a public area in Tokyo, you'll notice how quiet and orderly everything is. Japanese people generally prefer to keep their voices down in public places. Talking loudly on the phone or in a group setting can disrupt the peaceful atmosphere. In the subway, you might hear the occasional low murmur, but it's rare to hear loud conversations. People also use their phones discreetly, often on silent mode. If you absolutely need to make a call, step outside to a designated phone booth or go to a quieter spot. Pro tip: Tokyo's trains have a unique silent carriage where talking is strictly prohibited. It's a good habit to follow suit in all public spaces. Speaking softly helps maintain a calm and harmonious environment in public spaces, and it's one of the hallmarks of Japanese etiquette. Don't stand on the wrong side of the escalator. In Tokyo, like in many other parts of Japan, there's a very specific etiquette when it comes to escalators. People stand on the left side to allow others to pass on the right. This rule is strictly followed, and not adhering to it might attract unwanted attention. You might find yourself standing still on the escalator, but if you're in the way, someone might politely ask you to move over. If you're in a hurry, be sure to stand on the left to give others a clear path to pass. This system helps keep things flowing smoothly, especially in busy train stations where there's a high volume of people trying to get to their next destination. Don't point your feet at people. It's considered rude to point the soles of your feet at someone in Japan. Whether you're sitting on the floor, a chair, or standing, always make sure your feet aren't aimed at anyone. If you're sitting cross-legged on the floor, be mindful not to point your feet towards someone else. Instead, try sitting with your legs folded in a more respectful position. Feet are seen as the lowest part of the body in Japanese culture, so pointing them at someone can be interpreted as a sign of disrespect. Don't bring large bags into temples or shrines. When visiting temples and shrines in Tokyo, it's customary to leave your large bags outside. These places are sacred, and bringing personal belongings into them could be seen as disrespectful. Many temples provide lockers or spaces to leave your bags while you explore. If you're heading to Meiji Shrine, you'll find areas to store your bag before entering the main shrine. This helps maintain the sanctity and peace of these sacred spaces. Temples and shrines are places of spiritual significance, and leaving your personal belongings outside helps maintain their purity and peace. Don't engage in public displays of affection. While holding hands is perfectly acceptable, anything beyond that, like kissing or hugging, is considered inappropriate in public. Japanese people tend to be more reserved when it comes to physical affection, especially in public spaces. If you're walking through a busy shopping district like Shibuya, don't expect to see couples showing affection openly. It's more common to see couples holding hands or walking closely together without any overt displays of intimacy. Pro tip: if you're with someone, keep it respectful and save the more intimate gestures for private spaces. Public displays of affection are seen as disruptive to the harmony of the community and can make others feel uncomfortable. Don't forget to bow when thanking someone. The bow is an important symbol of respect in Japan, and it's used in various contexts, from greetings to saying thank you. A simple bow can convey gratitude and politeness. The depth of the bow depends on the formality of the situation. When someone helps you, like in a store or restaurant, a slight bow while saying "arigatou gozaimasu," thank you very much, shows your appreciation. The more formal the situation, the deeper the bow. A bow is more than just a gesture. It shows your respect for the person and the culture. It's a universal sign of politeness in Japan. Don't ignore the rules in public transport. Tokyo's public transportation is one of the best in the world, but there are strict rules you need to follow. First, keep your phone on silent mode. Eating and drinking are usually not allowed on trains, and talking on the phone is considered very rude. If you're on the Tokyo subway, keep your phone on silent mode, don't eat or drink, and avoid talking to others. There are designated areas where you can talk, but the trains themselves are for quiet commuting. The Japanese value quietness and order in public places, and following these rules helps maintain the smooth operation of the system. Don't bring Western habits to Tokyo. Tokyo is a city where traditional customs meet modern life, and it's important to respect both sides. For example, don't expect to greet people with a handshake. Bowing is the more traditional form of greeting. When meeting someone in Tokyo, don't go straight for a handshake. Instead, offer a slight bow to show respect. The blending of old and new in Tokyo is one of its defining features, and respecting both traditional and modern practices will help you connect with the locals. So there you have it, 10 things you must not do in Tokyo. Tokyo is an incredible city with so much to offer, and by respecting the local customs and traditions, you'll have a much smoother and more enjoyable experience. Now let's hear from you. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about Tokyo so far? Have you visited Tokyo before? Or is it on your bucket list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences and what you think about Tokyo's unique culture. Also, what's a city you'd like us to do a don't do guide for next? Let me know, and I'll make it happen. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel tips and cultural insights. Safe travels, and see you in the next video.